All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get down to it. Today we are going to continue our story about Narcissus and Echo, part 2. Okay, so um, we ended in part 1 with Echo following Narcissus because she fell deeply in love with him after seeing him mesmerized by his perfect beauty. All right, let's begin. But soon Narcissus sensed that there was someone behind the trees following him. He called out, "Is anyone there?" Echo wanted to answer with her own words, but she couldn't. All she could say in response was, "Is anyone there?" Confused, Narcissus spoke again. "Come out." Again, Echo only repeated the same words. Finally, Narcissus declared, "Come here, we must come together." Deeply in love with Narcissus, she misunderstood what he meant and thought he had accepted her love. She repeated, "We must come together," and ran out from behind the trees to embrace Narcissus. But the arrogant Narcissus cruelly pushed her away and said, "I'd rather die than let you touch me." Scorned and humiliated by the cruel rejection, Echo fled into the woods. She was so devastated by the rejection that her body faded away. All that was left of her was her voice. Let's read that again. I'll go a little bit slower this time, so I'll stop at words that I think perhaps you might have trouble reading. Okay? All right? Narcissus and Echo. But soon Narcissus sensed that there was someone behind the trees following him. He called out, "Is anyone there?" Echo wanted to answer with her own words, but she couldn't. All she could say in response was, "Is anyone there?" Confused, Narcissus spoke again. "Come out." Again, Echo only repeated the same words. Finally, Narcissus declared, "Come here, we must come together." Deeply in love with Narcissus, she misunderstood what he meant and thought he had accepted her love. She repeated, "We must come together," and ran out from behind the trees to embrace Narcissus. But the arrogant Narcissus cruelly pushed her away and said, "I'd rather die than let you touch me." Scorned and humiliated, by the cruel rejection, Echo fled into the woods. She was so devastated by the rejection that her body faded away. All that was left of her was her voice. So it's a very sad story of how Echo faded away. She didn't die. She's a nymph, but she doesn't have a body. She only has a voice, which is what an echo is. Okay, so we have lots of vocabulary words here, okay? Quite a few of them. We will talk about them one at a time, okay? Again, don't worry about how to write them. Just try to learn the words by learning how to say them, okay? Humiliated, in response, scorned, faded away. You know, words that you can say just phonetically without knowing the spelling, right? You can say those words. You don't need any 提示, right? You can say those words. Okay. All right. Let's explain. So remember at the end of part 1, Narcissus Echo followed Narcissus in the woods. Okay. But soon Narcissus sensed that there was someone behind the trees following him. When you sense something, you feel something. You can feel it, okay? Maybe it's a 直觉, or maybe it's a 第六感, whatever. You sense it, okay? So he felt, because I need to do past tense. He felt that there was someone behind the trees following him, okay? Feel, felt. I have to say felt because I have to use the past tense, okay? So Narcissus sensed, felt that there was someone behind the trees following him. He called out, "Is anyone there?" Echo wanted to answer, "Oh, it's me, Echo, I love you." But she couldn't because, right, Hera had condemned her to only repeat what others had said to her. So she couldn't, right? All she could say in response. When you say something in response, or do something in response, you answer. Okay? If I say something in response, that means I answer you with words, right? But if you hit me and I hit you back, then I hit you back in response. Okay? So in response means to answer, to react, to 反应 what you did to me, right? If you say something to me and I say something to you back in response. If you hit me, then I hit you back in response. If you give me a gift and I give you a gift back, then I give you a gift in response, in return, okay, right? So in response just means to answer in return, okay? All right. So usually say something in response is something that you will often say, right? As a 同义字, as a synonym for answer, to say something in response. And this way, you don't have to, you always use the word answer, right? If you write 作文 and you always say answer, 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 就很单调, right? So if you can say something, say in response, that's another 同义字 to say answer, okay? All right? Good. So in response means in return, okay? So all she could say in response was, "Is anyone there?" Confused, okay? So confused, Narcissus spoke again. So, he's like, "Who's, is anyone there?" And then he heard back, "Is anyone there?" He's like, what's this? What is this thing? He didn't know what to think. So when you are confused, you don't know what to think. Okay? All right? So don't know what to think. Okay? You are often confused in math class, right? The teacher tells you something, you're confused. You don't know what to think. Like, what? 什么? Right? Confused. Okay? So confused, don't know what to think. Oh, I have to say past tense because this is a 故事 that happened in the past. So I have to say didn't know what to think. Didn't know what to think. Not knowing, I should say. I should say not knowing. Okay. This way it follows the sentence. The sentence follows it. Not knowing what to think. Okay. So when you are confused, you don't know what to think. You are confused. Not knowing what to think, Narcissus spoke again. Come out. Again, Echo only repeated the same words. Finally, Narcissus declared. Yet another way to say. He said. Okay, but declare has a special. It's a special kind of say. It is to say strongly, to very 有决心的 very strongly say. Okay, right? To say definitively, strongly. So he declared, he said strongly, come here, we must be together. What did he mean? He means like, come out, let me talk to you, right? Come here, so we can talk. And he said, come here, we must be together. We must come together. Okay, he declared, he said very strongly. Now, Echo, 她爱昏头，对不对哈？ She was mesmerized by his perfect beauty. She was deeply in love with him. So what happened? Right. So she misunderstood him, right? So deeply in love with Narcissus, she misunderstood what he meant. Okay? This word is actually pretty hard to read. You have to re-meant. Beyond re-mean, okay? You have to re-meant. It's a strange word, right? 它原来是 mean 没有错哈。Like this is mean, 过去是 meant. Mean, meant. Mean, meant. You have to remember that, okay? So she misunderstood what he meant and thought that he had accepted her love. She thought that he had said yes. 接受, said yes to, right? Yes, her love. This word is very important. To accept, 接受, I'll say the Chinese. To say yes to.接受. Now, no. 接受. Thank you. All right. So she thought that he meant, come here, let me, let's be together. Because he did say, we must come together. So she thought he had accepted, say yes to, 接受, her love. She repeated, yes, we must come together, and ran out from behind the trees to embrace Narcissus. Embrace just means hug, 抱抱, huh? Right? Okay? To embrace Narcissus. Embrace. But the arrogant Narcissus cruelly pushed her away now and said, I'd rather die than let you touch me. Right? Yes? Okay? So, I'd rather means 我情愿. 情愿. Okay? Just say Chinese is easier, right? Because it's a pretty 直接的翻译哈. I'd rather die. 我情愿死掉 than let you touch me. Now, Echo was not ugly. Echo wasn't, undesirable. She was very attractive. She was 很漂亮. But, because Narcissus, he rejected everyone because he was super arrogant, because he had perfect beauty. Anyone who saw him fell in love with him. So he rejected her, not because she was undesirable, not because she was, ugly or whatever, right? Yes. It's just he was arrogant. Okay. And he said, I'd rather, 我情愿 die than let you touch me. I'd rather. Notice there's a D here. Many people make a mistake of saying this. I rather. 这是不对的哈. Yes, it's always I'd rather. And 这个 d, this is just I would rather. This d is a 缩写 of would. W-O-U-L-D, would. Okay, I would rather die than let you touch me. Scorned. Now, I ran this through a 翻译机 and it gave me this. I don't know how to say this word. Okay, I don't know. I know it's 被 something 是 huh? And this word looks pretty bad, so I'm going to trust that it is correct. Okay. Now, what is scorned? Scorned just means hated, despised. Okay, 被 hated, 被 despised. Okay, right? So if you scorn something, you're like, you know, 你不配我，我讨厌你 that kind of 意思啊，你被讨厌，被觉得不配 right? Okay, scorned. Okay, so another way to say scorned is maybe despised. Despised or hated, right? Hated maybe, 被 hated, or 被 despised. This is another. Okay, this is another word that you have to learn, right? But this word 还没有教好 but it's just 同义字 of scorned. Okay, hated and despised. Because you know, he not only rejected her, he cruelly rejected her. 很 cruel. 为什么 cruel? He said, "I'd rather die than let you touch me," and pushed her away. Right? Yes. So she felt. Echo was she felt scorned, hated, and despised. 她被right? Yes. 被觉得很讨厌 right? Okay. So scorned and humiliated. This word is hard to say. It takes a long time, but 慢慢练习哈。Humiliated, right? Humiliated, right? It's hard because that you get midly, right? That very hard to say. So humiliated, okay? 慢慢的练习 humiliated, 被 humiliated, 被羞辱耻 whatever, okay? Right? So in other words, shamed. Right? Imagine, you know, somebody did that to you. You would feel shamed and humiliated, right? Yes. All right. So scorned and humiliated by the cruel rejection. Echo fled. Fled means to flee. Oh, this is actually also a 单字. I'm sorry. Fled is ran away. Okay. Echo ran away. 逃走了 escaped. Okay. So here is another word to mean escape. 逃走了 flee, fled. Okay. Echo fled into the woods. She escaped into the woods. I know English has so many 同义字. That's why it's a very colorful language. That's why there's the same many ways to say the same thing. That's why the 单字 is like, you know, many times more than other 语言 languages, okay? Because there's just so many different ways to say the same thing, okay? All right, so Echo fled, escaped into the woods. She was so devastated by the rejection that her body faded away. To fade away is to 慢慢消失. In other words, her body disappeared. Okay, 消失. Okay, right? Her body faded away. And all that was left of her, was her voice. And that's why when you go to the mountains and you say, hello, and you hear the echo, hello, that's her. That's Echo, but you don't see her body because her body faded away, and all that is left of her is her voice. And that is why 回音叫做 echo, right? Yes, she doesn't have a body, she just has a voice, okay? And she doesn't have a beautiful voice either because her echo, her voice is just the same as your voice. So if you have a beautiful voice, then the echo is beautiful. But if you have my voice, then the echo sounds like me, right? Okay. All right. So that is the story, okay, of what happened to Echo and Narcissus. Okay, right? So yes, lots of words. You know, try to listen to watch the video again and again. You know, you don't have to watch all the way through from the beginning. You have to just kind of go back to the place you want to listen to and watch, and try to learn how to read and say all these words. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching. I will see you all in class. Oops.